Welcome to the Tough Decisions Network for Entrepreneurs. I'm Dan Handford, and my wife, Dennae, and I interview successful people sharing stories behind tough decisions that they've had to make along their journey as an entrepreneur. On the podcast with us today is Vinney Chopra. Thank you so much for taking some time with us, Vinney. Looking forward to diving into this interview with you.
Sure, Dan. Sure, Dennae. I'm so glad we met at the Atlanta Summit and crossed each other. Now we know a little bit about each other, and I'm excited to be on your show.
Yeah, so we found out a little bit about you, and we want you to tell our audience a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur and where your focus is right now.
Okay, sure. And many of people might know I've done, I think, 39 interviews now. I'm all over the internet, social media, everything. I live near San Francisco now. We moved here 38 years back. We've been married 38 years also. I came from India 40 years back with $7 in my pocket. Some of the audience might know. And then I came there to Washington, D.C. area. That's where I went to GW. I'm a mechanical engineer from India, and came here for my further studies to really combine engineering and, motivation. This MBA. But then I sold Bible books and encyclopedias over there in Austell, Georgia, and other places, and they paid my tuition. So I started from scratch, and then I spent a whole life of me actually as a motivational speaker, gave over 10,000 speeches. I lost count. But the thing is, I was raising thousands of dollars for organizations for many, many years. And then we started investing in single family, lots of single families all over the country and world too, because in India and other places. But then we sold them all because we found that at the end of the year, a lot of them didn't make the cash flows that we wanted them to make. Tax consequences were pretty good, but not that. But then I became a broker. Just to put it all in 1 minute, I became a broker in 2004 right here in California, near San Francisco, where we live. And I looked into lots of different places. I looked into, office space, hospitality, mobile home parks, all over. But multifamily grabbed me by, I'm a logical person, and I've never deviated from that for 14 years. So now I've done 26 syndications, controlled over 200 million assets. I'm in the midst of $50 million raise right now. I teach, I coach, and also I'm a mentor of many in the USA. And then also I write a lot of articles and writing a book and all that. That's what I am. And I manage. I'm CEO of 5 companies. Yeah.
So I want you to dive into every single one of these entities that you've created and started and go into a lot of detail over the next 10 minutes. Can you do that?
I'll try my best. I know. No. I'm sure you're kidding, right?
Yes. I want you to think about, with all the stuff that you've done in your career as an entrepreneur, about what I call a sore thumb tough decision. So I know you're all about smiles and all this kind of stuff, but I'm sure Mr. Vinney Chopra has been knocked in the teeth a few times. And I want you to talk about a tough decision that you had to make, and it did not have a very good outcome first. But we will definitely get to the positive one as well. But a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we always just, wait in the successes and the positive things. And we sometimes can learn a lot about different lessons in these tough decisions that have bad outcomes. So can you walk us through a tough decision that you had that had a not so good outcome and some of the lessons that you learned through it?
If I may say, one is so hard to say, but I will say the overall, I think in any kind of business is the personnel, the hiring. I made so many bad decisions where I looked at the resumes, Dan and Dennae, and said, these people are going to be really great because they got 20 years of experience, and so forth in property management. But when they really are put in the job, they're not even 10% of that, They're not leaders, or they are not able to, take care of the business like we. So I would say personnel is many. We own like 26 syndicates with 26 properties and all that. So that is one common theme I think you will find in the audience also. Many times we hire the wrong people. So that is one where I have lost a lot of money. I'm very quick in firing though. If I find out any kind of trustworthiness or stealing or this and that, I fire on the spot, of course, with the regulations of the state and everything. But that is where, I don't know if you want maybe more specific. The other things are the bonuses. I always believed in giving performance bonuses to my employees. And I just found out that there was just extra money going out. I made a decision, but then it didn't really improve the performance of the properties or the managers, or they were not giving me more and above what they were getting paid and commissions and so forth. Lots of different tough decisions come in the CEO's life every day. I mean, wrong vendors, choosing the wrong vendors. You ask 4 or 5 vendors to give you the bids, and then you go with the very best gut feeling, and then you find out that they are crooks. I mean, it's ridiculous. What industry we are in real estate, everybody's out there to take you, I mean, all these, lot of corruption goes on.
So I know that Dan and I have discussed before about the difficulties associated with hiring and finding the right people. And, do you look at the resume? Do you go with your gut feeling when you meet them? Obviously there's got to be a combination of factors there. But when you're hiring somebody, what's the most important thing that you look at?
Very good. I look at definitely their stability, how long they were at the property they were managing. And in my advertisements also, Dennae, I've always put down 15 to 20 years of experience. I don't want anybody to send resumes and so forth like that, just with 5 years or 3 years, or, like that. I qualify them right from the get-go. Like in Atlanta, I'm starting a brand new company. So I got 52 resumes of great community managers who had 20 years of experience, because I say that don't waste time in my advertisements. I'm looking for only this, and a couple of times I put that. Of course, the resumes, people put a lot of great resumes. I ask them to bring their portfolio, their recommendation letters, their achievement rewards, everything. When we do face to face, we like to do first FaceTime or Zoom meetings, and then we do face to face behavioral questions. Now I have in my company 67 people now. I have a HR person already full time, so that she's able to come with 25 years of experience, and she knows the laws and everything. So that has made a big difference. So I get involved in, but the problem is many times, even though you do all those things, oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous that the good people get into ego trips and a lot of other stuff and all that. So you have to fire them.
Yeah, we definitely have been in that position before, and kind of selling yourself when you are hiring somebody on a candidate, and then they really disappoint you. And then sometimes it's like you don't know where to put your finger. You can't put your finger on why or how you would have made that decision differently, because if that candidate came along again, you'd probably hire him again, because it's hard to discern from the very beginning how they're going to be. So I want you to shift a little bit here, Vinney. I want you to talk a little bit about a tough decision that you've had to make as an entrepreneur in your career, and that had a really good and positive outcome, and some of the lessons you learned through that one.
I would love to. I know everybody's flocking to Houston, and I was there in Houston 2013. That's 5 years back, and my properties have increased in value by 3 to 6 million now in just 3 years over there. And a lot of people are asking me, there was a property I purchased, I won't say the name, but it was a A-class renovation. $3.6 million renovations were done by the seller. I bought it for $9.3 million. It's worth $12.3 million now in 3 years. But the biggest decision I had to make in that was the clientele who was living in this A-class renovated, beautiful all steel appliances, crown moldings, you name it, it had it. And then I had to make a decision to requalify every single tenant in there. And that was cleaning house for 1 year. And actually now I have changed. The outcome is that its properties like flourishing, and also we are able to increase the rents and get the whole demographics changed. So that was a good decision that I made as a CEO. And I told the investors at my investor meeting, which I do every quarterly, that this is what we're going to do. We're not going to have breaking of beer bottles every Saturday and Sunday in the parking lots of a beautiful complex right there, in the south of Houston. I would just say near to the Clear Lake, in the best school district in Houston. So that's the tough decision it was, because I knew the occupancy is going to go down, and I'll lose some profits and everything for investors and me and everybody. But in the long run, we're going to come out okay. And that's what I did. I hired security. I had a lot of things to get these bad people out. Sorry, residents. And they were, doing all things. We put into, like giving them tickets, $25 per garbage bag outside their apartment. I mean, that cleaned up overnight. All these people, the old management company was just not strict enough. And we, Monil standards are much higher. We bring cafes, we bring media centers, we mean all that. It's a beautiful, setting, resort setting in this apartment building. So that was a tough decision, but which paid off. It took me a year and a half to really, really get that down to it.
Talk a little bit about the strategies that you use to make difficult decisions.
I'm a logical mind person, being an engineer. So I make decisions on logic. I really look at all the positive things of my decision, all the negative things. And then, like the Benjamin principle, they call it, right? You draw a piece of paper. If it's a very tough decision, many times you never have to draw. You look at, what are the chances you get the best knowledge you got in the numbers. And also I'm very good in number crunching, looking at and things like that. So the key thing is for us to look through who is getting affected by that decision, what are the risk factors, and who's going to get hurt or who's going to get helped, and then make that big decision. So that's a logical way I do things on a daily basis. Main thing I look at is my residents are gold, number one. That's my motto of my company. Investors are gold. That's my second. My team members are gold. That's third. And then my fourth one is the vendors are gold. Because if I can really give respect to them and do win-win-win-win situations for all four of them, then everything will be intact.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and hear from one of our show sponsors. When we come back, we'll talk to Vinney about some of his favorites as it relates to his life as an entrepreneur.
Have you ever thought about investing in real estate, but find yourself so busy that you don't have time for it? Do you have FOMO, which is the fear of missing out? At HanfordCapital.com, we help investors with passive real estate investments that project better returns than traditional investment vehicles such as the stock market. If you'd like to find out more about our passive real estate investments, visit HanfordCapital.com. That's HANDFORD Capital.com. We will jump on a call with you to discuss your investment goals and to see if our investments are a good fit for you. This advertisement is not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell a security. Visit HanfordCapital.com. We are back with Vinney Chopra. So we're going to start this off with this series of quick questions and answers that we call the trifecta, Vinney. So tell us about your favorite technology that you use in business that helps to make your life easier every day.
You know what? Can I say that I've bought these 12 properties in 3 years or so, 2.5 years, syndication and everything, just with my iPad and my iPhone. That's it. And maybe in a Mac Pro, I just bought it, but I have never printed maybe in the last 4 years, I printed only 50 pieces of paper. That's all. And the best thing technology-wise is that I love to be on top of things like the Zoom meetings, of course, everybody uses them. And also the software, Rent Manager is the one. I know Bigger Pockets also, Brandon and other people, they like to also really talk about it. That's the software we use. So that has been a really tremendous one. Again, I also use Trello. I use a lot of different things on my iPhone. I like to use technology to the hilt.
What is a favorite quote that you've heard that's helped you as an entrepreneur?
Lots of quotes. I am a product of a lot of people from Jim Rohn to Charlie Tremendous Jones to Eckhart Tolle to Tony Robbins to Zig Ziglar's to all of them. I bought maybe 1,000, 2,000 books. I always invested in myself. I still get in the morning, get up and listen to motivational speeches at this tender age of 66. And I've got vision for next 25 years. And the exciting part is that, you got to always be putting the positive things in your mind. And I write quotes myself now. I know my virtual assistants, 5 of them, from Philippines and India and South Africa, they're putting me on the internet. So I write, I give them all the different things and they design it and then put me out there and all the articles I'm writing and other stuff like that. So quotations wise, I really believe in energy. I believe in law of attraction. I believe in let things happen. Don't sweat the small stuff because life is too short and you got to be always adding value to everybody around you. Everybody. You cannot do win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. Not at all. You got to be totally trustworthy, integrity, and then hard work pays off. Luck is not that comes by itself. You got to make things happen on a daily basis, take massive action to really do what you want to accomplish. I was just giving a speech day before yesterday in the Silicon Valley. And, my main thing is no fear. We need to live every day with no fear. And don't worry about rejection. That was the big thing I talked about. That when we get more success, you get rejected by a lot of people. Don't worry about your family, friends, or anybody who is not in your court. You need to get out of that. You need to be always associating with people above where you want to go. Don't learn from the people who have not been where they need to be because they can mess you up.
And what is one book that you would recommend to our audience?
I would say that, oh my gosh, The Power of Now. There it is right there. Eckhart Tolle's book. I say that all the time. Of course, Robert Kiyosaki's book is very good. And I would say the next one, if you want to change your life, is the Miracle Morning book. I don't get paid for anybody of these, but I joined Go Abundance group recently, and this is one of the members of the Go Abundance. Very nice guy, Hal Elrod. So I believe in those two. And not only, there are a lot of other books, but the biggest thing is in your audience, if I may say, the biggest book they could get is Google and YouTube. You don't need to even buy all these books. Podcasts, YouTube, and Google are the best friends. If you are feeling sick, if you have any kind of question, just go ahead and put it in the YouTube. You will get answers. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling not motivated, if you want to really control courage, how you want to speak in front of people, just Google it. You will come across so much great literature for free.
And Vinney, how can the listeners reach out to you if they want to contact you, follow you, or get some more of the smiles that you provide?
Thank you, Dan. Actually now it's very easy. You could just text the word syndication, SYNDICATION, syndication to 474747. That's like the airplane, right? 747. Just take the 7 out. It's 474747. Just text the word syndication. My team member or I will get them, right back to them. They could go to VinneyChopra.com. I've got all my interviews there, all the blogs and the ebooks and free literatures. They can also go to Monil Invest, or if they would like to, accredited investors only can invest in my $50 million offering that I'm doing right now, which is monilmultifamilyfund.com. And then, of course, my academy, multifamilyacademy.com or multifamilysyndicationacademy.com. Or just go to Twitter or Instagram or YouTube channel or anywhere, you'll find me.
We'll definitely make sure we put some of the links on our show notes so that our listeners can find you. I know you're all over the web, and really appreciate you taking some time to be with us today on the podcast, and look forward to continue to follow you and look forward to having you on a future episode as you continue to grow as an entrepreneur.
Thank you, and God bless you both. And I'm so tickled to meet you personally there in Atlanta, and you are doing such great. I've been following you, Dan, you and Dennae. You bring so much quality material, and I would like, to spread it. And I'm so happy to see what you're trying to do. And God bless you. God bless you.
You too. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Tough Decisions Network. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to gain access to show notes for this episode and to join our free weekly entrepreneur email where we will send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest books for entrepreneurs. That's toughdecisions.net.